trading card games offer complex and nuanced battles between a variety of cards. With so many cards in a game, often a select few creep their way up to the top as being more powerful, warping the metagame around them. Sometimes a card may seem bad at first glance, but hold an interesting position relative to the most powerful cards in the format. But oftentimes, cards are just reminders that card design is an art form, and art can be very difficult. In this series, we're going to prove that we're champion-level players by getting a win with even the worst designed Pokemon in existence. Using a wheel, we'll figure out which Pokemon we'll encounter for that day and set out to prove that we can win with any card. Will I crack under the pressure, or prove that I'm the champion deck builder I think I am? Find out on this episode of Pokemon Pocket Roulette. New episodes premiere Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 p.m. EST. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Pocket Roulette. I'm Blue Zerker, and without further ado, let's go ahead and see what we're going to be working with today. Looks like our Pokemon encounter is going to be the one, the only, Fearow.
Have no fear, the Fearow deck is here. Now, I know what you're thinking. Fearow doesn't seem like a particularly good card, but man, what an interesting effect. The ability to knock off a random energy from your opponent can be devastating. Being able to put someone behind an energy turn is a big deal. And to facilitate that, we have a kind of interesting game plan. I'm a super big fan of cards like this that have like a stun element that would stop your opponent from playing a certain way and make them kind of play around in a puzzly-esque, how do I go about stopping my opponent's stuff? And we're kind of leaning into that directly. We've got Fearow, obviously the main, member of the deck, 2 energy, 50 damage, not very much, which is why we're rocking the Giovanni, Cyrus, and Sabrina. This is going to let us get the opponent's Pokemon in that is actually accruing energy and hopefully delay their turn. If we can delay their turn long enough, Drill Run's knocking the energy off, they won't be able to compete. We have Mawile, who's a very similar card to Fearow. We have colorless energy in this deck, so we're just going to use Steel to utilize Mawile's ability to do a very similar game plan. And when the opponent does manage to get someone set up, that's what we have our secret weapon, the Fan Rotom for. A lot of the times, the enemy's just hiding behind a wall, getting something really powerful set up. If we can Rotom that back to their hand, again, we're delaying their turn, the time it takes for them to build up, and hopefully we can use that kind of stun potential to blow them away, so to speak. But we've got the red card and the hand scope. This is going to let us see any kind of like evolution shenanigans if they are kind of stalling, while we can, try to create more space for ourselves. And we also have the Shaman. All of our Pokemon have 1 energy retreat cost, which means we can freely move them around. In a 3-prize deck like this, being able to utilize the ability to retreat safely and quickly into whatever our next Pivotmon is going to be pretty helpful. And instead of running the X-Speeds, we can use the Shaman. Now, if we ever end up attacking with the Shaman, we've probably already lost that pocket match, but it's still an exciting card. So yeah, let's get into it and see how Fearow, how he does. Are we going to snatch that energy right out of their beak before they eat it, just like his card text says, or are we going to suffer and go hungry ourselves? So let's check it out. Alright, we're going second. We're off to a great start. Being able to go second helps us a lot because we can start immediately dealing damage, which it's going to take us quite a while to do. They've got a Dark deck. Hopefully it's not a Darkrai. If we're knocking Darkrai's energy off, it doesn't matter. So there's the Sneasel. I can already sense we're about to get our butts kicked. But we have double Fearow in hand and the ability to maybe run away with it. The other problem, this is actually like such a good deck against us because Weavile only requires 1 dark energy, so they can just keep reattaching it. And there's the Darkrai EX, who already gets the value from attaching it in the first place. Now, we've got the Pokeball. We can kind of see if we can get something going. And we got Shaman, which is not very good for us. We really needed to see the Spearow. So now we're going to throw our other Mawile up here. Now, I will say, if we can keep knocking the energy off of Sneasel and they have to keep re-equipping that, they're not going to be able to keep putting it on Darkrai to deal the bonus damage. So we'd have to get really lucky. This feels like a matchup that is going to be rather difficult to win in general, though. This is one of the decks that I was worried about encountering, just because what do we do? It doesn't really matter. They've got the double heads. Let's hope we don't get jolted. Hope we don't get Jolteoned right now. We're going to see heads and another heads. Okay, so maximum damage. They will guaranteed kill us next turn with an evolution or just with a Darkrai. I guess it's not guaranteed, but we're really looking in tough shape. So let's go Shaman. And now we're going to utilize that pivoting I was talking about earlier. We now have free retreats to get out. We will not take 70 from the Weavile EX, and we can hopefully knock their energy off, so we don't take another damage from Darkrai. Hey, and we do it! And we finally, we landed the knockoff, so, you know, now they're going to have to really think. Let's hope in their 8-card group they don't have Weavile EX, and we can actually put a little pressure on them. They're communicating. They're doing it before evolving. I would have just slammed down the Weavile and said, hey, you have no chance in winning. But that means they might actually not have it in their hand. They could be, like, support locked or something. So fingers crossed. Oh, they're doing it again. Okay, let's see. We might actually just be able to take the Sneasel out, and then they'll just get upset and run away. That's really what I'm hoping for. Because otherwise I don't have a lot to take it on. So Darkrai EX, they're either slow rolling us or they're about to lose their Sneasel, and we actually... So they're going to try to knock out the Mawile. Oh, they don't have the... Okay, they don't have the Weavile. Oh my goodness, that's exactly what we needed. I don't even care if they take this Mawile. Wait. And they don't even take the Mawile, so we immediately get our Retribution. This is what sucks about not having guaranteed heads. Let's see if we can draw. Research. Perfect. This is an awesome draw. Our opponent should just be quitting right now because honestly... Oh, and we get the Fearow. Yes. Alright, we're set up. They have no way to win this game. I mean, they can win it, obviously. We are not out of the woods yet. But being able to 3-turn take out a Sneasel with Mawile is kind of crazy. Even by equipping, it still makes us do the flip. Hey, we got it, which means we're not going to get it next turn when we get it. Even with the Darkrai, they're not going to be able to... the 20 damage isn't going to take us out. They could draw another Sneasel. That could be annoying. But we have the Sabrina... And we have the Cyrus. The big thing with the Cyrus is being able to pick what we pull in. It doesn't look like they have anything crazy going on. We're going to take the 20 damage. Darkrai EX, such a cool card. Very strong. Just very good. Being able to be doing something active while you are building that wall up. Now, that Rocky Helmet's pretty annoying. But this is exactly what we have the Shaman for. We're going to try another research. Oh! And because they've got 2 retreat, what we can actually do... We've got 2 ways to do this. We can either try to knock out the Darkrai, or we can just go ahead and Sabrina the other one in. That puts us in a pretty good position, because what's going to happen is while we might not be knocking the energy off, without a leaf they can't easily get it out. And we also have the ability to... let's think about this. I just don't want to keep dealing with the Rocky Helmet. That's going to be annoying, especially since we don't deal a lot of damage. So by Sabrina-ing, we pull the other one in. We will damage it, and that'll let us Cyrus towards it too. It's not going to cost us any energy on the Mawile to retreat. We'll go straight into the Fearow, and we'll deal 50 damage. If we can deal 50 damage 2 more times without like potions or whatever, then we'll take this victory. Just sometimes you have to get really lucky. Obviously, we knew we were going to play around luck a little bit. So they're Cyrusing in our Mawile. That's going to knock it out, but again, we are a 1-cost prize deck, and they're actually going to go ahead and power this Darkrai EX up, which is super good, because now if we can knock it off, we're going to take the win. They kind of have to, though, right? Because without X-Speed or Leaf or something, they're going to be, you know, they're going to be stuck there. But they don't realize we have the Cyrus in hand, or they at least have to play a certain way. We'll go ahead and pop that research, see if we can get another Fearow set up. Oh, and we've even got the Hand Scope combo, so let's see what they're working with. Let's see why we didn't pop anything else. They must have drawn this after. Double Sabrina and Weavile EX. Yeah, you can keep that hand, buddy. And now that we know for sure what's going on, we're going to have a much better time. I think we actually just have this win. They would have to do something pretty crazy. I guess they could draw a potion. We'll see if we can knock the energy off. That is Fearow's. And we get to knock the energy off too. So getting rid of that ability to just activate and pull it out. What a crazy, just out of nowhere win. I would have told you this deck is not winnable. Don't have to worry about any supports now. If they do send in, like, they'd have to double X speed or like XP plus Shaman. There's the Sneasel, but it's too little too late. Even if we hadn't gotten the knockoff, which again, the fact that we're hitting them has made this deck pretty crazy. There's the cape. So yeah, so they can equip, we'll take 20. They can get out next turn to run, but we have Cyrus in hand, and we already know, so their draw was Professor's Research into Belt, into Sneasel. Weavile EX will be annoying, But again, it doesn't really do anything. We can go ahead and actually red card them too, just to say, hey, you're not going to do that reliably. There's the Rotom. We can get it started to be. We can start getting it set up, even though there's no way we're going to bring it out during this match. I'm trying to think, if they did Darkrai and then switch out into Weavile, it doesn't matter. So we don't need to red card. My biggest concern with red carding is if they get Potion, but that doesn't matter either. We'll go ahead and red card, just say, hey, you're not pulling that Weavile EX out, at least not reliably. I'm going to answer it in some form or fashion. And then we're going to go ahead and win the game because we have the one of Giovanni. It's just that easy. Sometimes you think you're going to lose a matchup really hard, and then when you actually play it, you realize that there's some really cool interplay. Had they had Weavile, this game would have looked a lot different, but sometimes you just don't draw the cards that you need. So, there we go. We take the win against this guy out of nowhere, out of the blue even. I would have had no idea that this is how this was going to start. We'll go ahead and play a couple more, but man, what a cool, interesting... it's one of those things where the Pokemon card game has a lot of luck-based things to it, but you do have to play towards that luck, right? So we recognize pulling that Darkrai in and taking the damage from Rocky Helmet would have been a problem. I bet they're so upset though. Not seeing that Weavile with the double communicator in hand, they had 8 cards in their hand. The fact that they didn't have the Weavile is crazy. But anyway, we're on to the next match. See if this can do anything more. It's making me want to play a Fearow Jolteon deck. Just let the coin flips, fill you up, and it's not misty. We're going to go first this time. See... Oh, this is the worst possible situation when you're playing a card like Shaman, by the way. Because it's just going to sit out here. Actually, let me double check. I don't know if this works the way... Okay, yeah, so he gets in his own way, which is a problem. And we're going against a super meta deck. I really would have liked to have seen this in a slightly variated situation where we could have led with something different. Now, we are going to keep the Fan Rotom in hand. So, we kind of have a potentially interesting play. We're going to make them dedicate an energy to that Dialga. And then, when that happens, we're going to Sabrina it out. Then they have to decide how they're going to interact with the board. Are they going to make their Arceus get another energy to bring it out, to get the Steel started, to get set up? They see we're on Steel, they probably think we're on the same deck, and we've just bricked. We've got the Dialga, so they've got double Dialga, Arceus. Now, what's going to be cool is they can actually ditch their old Amber. They can ditch their old Amber if they want to counteract this Sabrina. We will go ahead and do it, see what they do. This is one of the cool things about fossils in the first set, is you could play them to just have an option for Sabrina. But they're opting not to do that, which is pretty good for us. I really don't want this Shaman here. That's the messed up part. If we didn't have Shaman in this active spot, we could potentially do something else. I'm going to go ahead and just throw the energy that we're going to need on it to retreat it. And then next turn we'll start getting the Fan Rotom set up. But it looks like it's already too late for us. Their energy up. Mawile would go good. Yeah, no Mawile either. We'll throw the Fan Rotom out. We'll wait impatiently. Let's go ahead and switch it out for the Shaman. But yeah, we're already in a bit of a pickle when it comes to everything. Go ahead and throw another one in. There's no reason not to. Shaman on the in the active slot as the opener feels bad. We have 6 basic Mon plus Shaman, and we rolled I think it was an 18.5% chance to get that situation. We're going to take our damage. Dialga's here. Now, any other deck that doesn't just immediately then generate 2 more energy could potentially fall victim to the Fan Rotom, but instead, we're really just giving them a free switch out. They're going to get their Arceus set up. When the Fossil actually pairs well with Arceus too, giving you another basic Mon that doesn't get in the way. So that's interesting. I like the idea of utilizing the Fossils in that way. But Arceus is set up. He's going to be dealing a crazy amount of damage to us. We have Spearow, but again, now what's going to happen is once they're already set up, Spearow it needs to prevent them from getting to their setup, not the other way around. We are going to go ahead and throw the energy on this Fan Rotom, though. They want us to Dialga it up. It really doesn't even matter, frankly. They just got exactly what they needed here in the beginning. And we don't have any big damage dealers. We have the double Cyrus to like pull something in potentially when we do deal damage, but it's going to be a little too late. A really good player here would probably just Metallic Turbo anyway, get more energy accrued. Yeah, and I mean, what are we going to do about it? Not much, frankly. There's the Giovanni. Let's throw the Fearow out here. I want to get the coin flip with the Fearow Tom. Why not? See what we've got going on. But then we're going to head out of this one. This is, yeah, I really would have liked to have, and we even got the heads too. I really would have liked to have seen what this deck could have done against the Arceus deck without leading Shaman. Because if we get this set up in time, then we can potentially stop them, everything they're doing, and prevent the energy from being built up if we're getting, decently lucky. But even if we get decently lucky, we're going to end up getting unlucky here. So we're going to go ahead and cut this one short. Good job to my opponent, going second, having Dialga, and we kind of pulled a little, that's the problem with like basic utility mon, like the Shaman, is it could be the lead, and if I'm only playing one, that's one of the things where playing two would actually help you out. But it's superfluous, because if you do have the one on the bench, that's called like a Garnet in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you have something that is like an engine requirement, or you don't necessarily want to draw it, because it hurts your combo or your end board. But we'll send our thanks and go ahead and head into one more. Again, really would have liked to have seen what that looked like in a slightly different world, where we just led Mawile or something, because there could have been an interesting deck. But now we're playing against N Boogie. With this cool Volkner, this Volkner icon is really cool. I'm not like the biggest Volkner fan in the world, but I think the icon looks really good. We're going second, which is great for us. We've got Spearow. We don't have the Fearow, but we'll see if we can get going. This is a good energy curve for us, especially going second. We can get some damage off for the Cyrus, get our Pokeball going. We already know we're not going to be Shaman locked this game, and it looks like our opponent is playing a Psychic deck. So right off the bat, what Psychic decks are really good? Or it's a fighting deck. I just can't see. Okay, so this is like the anti-meta. No, it's got Gible. Cool. I'm interested to see what they're playing. Some kind of Garchomp, maybe Fire Water. Maybe they're utilizing Dawn some way to get something out. So we see the old Amber again. We're going to go ahead and start getting Spearow set up. Throw our Pokeball down. We actually have Handscope plus red card, which is pretty funny. And we can even go out to our Mawile. So we'll see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and Handscope them, especially since they're playing evolutions. If they've got them, we're just going to red card them out of there. We've got Garchomp EX, X-Speed, and Communicator. So nothing to worry about yet. Garchomp EX, X-Speed, and Communicator. X-Speed being good for the Gible and Garchomp. Garchomp EX dealing a lot of damage. Garchomp EX, I should have double checked. I think it's 170. It requiring only one energy to deal what our Fearow does, and being able to poke at our bench spawn is going to hurt a lot if they get it set up. So as soon as they put Gabite down, we've got to dip it out of there with the red card and hope they don't draw it. They do only have 4 now, but still, no Gabite means no worries. Because, yeah, we don't have... That's annoying. So, there's the Shaman. So that gives us this free switch into our Mawile. Unfortunately, Sudowoodo is not weak to steel in this version of the game. We will go ahead and switch it out, though. We can preserve the health on our Fearow, because at 80, I actually think that was a minor misplay. So we're going to take 20 on the Mawile, and what's going to happen is then we're going to be linear strike ranged by the Garchomp EX, but we're going to be red carding anyway. As soon as we see that Gabite, we don't get the energy off, that's fine. Because they have the one energy, that strategy is not going to be particularly effective, that ability to stun them. We're just really hoping to keep the Gabite off. We can get Fearow. If Fearow comes in, we can knock Sudowoodo out. That's pretty powerful. They're getting Gible set up. They could send the old Amber up and potentially make a... So still no Gabite. We could still suddenly get something. So we'll draw Giovanni. Not what we want to see. Is it bad that like the Flap would have gone crazy? And the Flap really would have gone crazy here. We're going to get the other Spearow set up though. Go ahead and Mawile. See if we can force that fighting energy off. We know they have the X speed in hand, so they can get the Sudowoodo out of dodge. A heads is good, so now they actually do have to commit their turn to doing it if that's what ends up happening. They could get the Gibble out. I don't remember if Gabite is a 1 energy attacker. If it is, that's pretty good. Pokeball, they would have used that last turn, so it still looks like no Gabite. They could have the... This is always what happened to me when I played Haunter. So we're communicating, trying to grab the other Gabite. Probably pretty likely that they will grab it. Maybe they have another Sudowoodo. They pulled the Gibble out of the deck. Yeah, there it is. And this kills 30 for 1 with 80. So we are going to get that Garchomp EX out of here as soon as we can with the red card. Thankfully, we have that information. Hand scope plus red card's going pretty crazy. They might actually hurt themselves a little bit here by sending in this. They're sending in Gabite. Yeah, so what's going to happen now is we will take more damage, but we were going to die, get knocked out anyway. And if we can stop them from getting the Garchomp EX, we might be in a good little position. Oh, there's the research, too. This is exactly what we needed to see. We need to see Fearow. We'll go ahead and draw. Sabrina. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. All right. It's not over by any means. It's just annoying is all. We will pop the red card. Say goodbye. Goodbye. And hopefully they don't draw the Garchomp EX. We can't Cyrus out the Sudowoodo, which that's okay. We'll kind of save that little secret, that little trick if we can get there, if they end up trying to Old Amber us or something. Let's see if we can knock this energy off of him. We can't. As long as we can keep it from 3, that'll be okay, but really the 1 damage 50 is sufficient, unfortunately. Let's see what they drew. I haven't seen research yet, so... Oh, there's the Aerodactyl EX. Interesting. 2 for 80, and then... Okay, they drew the Garchomp EX anyway. Yeah, that's about how I thought this was gonna go. They can now just snipe whoever. On the bright side for us... On the bright side for us, basically, really what they should do is they should just snipe Shaman, and then we can't even fool around with our retreating stuff. We have to send in the Fearow that we don't want to send in. Yeah, I mean, just why not? Well, they actually probably should have taken them all while out. That would make it where we have to send one of those Fearow in and we can't evolve it, kind of forcing our hand a specific way. This is a problem for sure. What I think we're going to do, though, is just going to go ahead and research. Really hope we can get the Fearow. Okay, there's the Fearow. I really thought we were about to not get it again. We've got the energy set up on it. We'll get it sent in. We could potentially force it. Such an awkward position. We're going to just try to force it to put the energy back on it. Drill run's coming out. We'll flip our coin. Tails, no big deal. Doesn't really change anything except now they can get their Aerodactyl set up. Cool looking Aerodactyl. I like the Primeval Wall. That's like, it is a neat ability. Again, one of those cool stun abilities that makes your opponent play around a weird floodgate. Normally it doesn't really matter. There's not a lot of decks that get impeded by it, but it does come up. It is something that does affect things, so that is at least interesting. But yeah, they're going to pretty much take the cake on this one. That's probably our Mawile. No, they'll just hit Fearow, no big deal. We could try and get something set up. I almost want to take the win. I almost want to get a knockout with the Shaman EX. I don't know. We're just in such an awkward position. We could Sabrina, but most likely they'll just send in the Aerodactyl, so nothing really changes. I can send in the Fearow and at least have it chill in there. We could pivot out, but it doesn't matter against the linear attack. So, yeah, they've definitely got this one. We can kind of see if they misplay. I'll just go ahead and have them Sabrina. Or we'll Sabrina them, see if we can force something weird out of them. They'll go, oh, maybe I should just send this in. Nah, they just sent the Aerodactyl in, which is going to finish taking us out. We've got the Fearow, but with the Mawile on the bench, there's not as much that we can even do about it. So let's just see if we can at least knock the energy off. Hey, we did. We knocked the energy off. So that's frustrating. That's annoying, but it is what it is. The Aerodactyl EX, I haven't really seen it much at all, so getting to see it in a deck that looks alright. This deck's very, neat. This Sudowoodo is pretty powerful. Not being impeded by your basics is pretty cool. I just want to see if I can spin him back to his hand or not. Kind of want to get a flap. Actually, let's just go for the flap kill. Why not? This is what Shaman's been here for. It took me so long to pull the base Shaman. I got 2 of the full arts and wasn't able to do much, or wasn't able to complete the thing. I'm still waiting on getting my Glaceon, and then I'll be able to finally be done. So I at least want to say that I got a knockout with Shaman, and it didn't matter at all, because it doesn't matter at all. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and concede and let this one go. Send a thanks.
And thank you for watching this episode. Once again, really sorry about the audio right there. It messed up. I didn't know till post, and I couldn't record the whole episode in time, and it will be fixed going forward. But if you enjoyed it, leave a like. Don't forget to comment. Subscribe to see the next episode, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 10 p.m. Hopefully they will only continue improving in quality, and I'll smell you later.